Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to talk about appearances. I've talked about it before, but as everything in life, as time goes, we see things differently. We see different things. We change our focus and this type of stuff. And so this is why I thought I want to talk about some different kinds of stuff, and all related to appearances. And one thing is, I'm not, how do I say? Well, I've been looking at women. Now, one thing, I have not been all that, I don't want to say aggressive in getting hands-on. I'm not. When it comes to women, I'm scared I want to scare them, and so I'm really laid back. And but what I do a lot of is watch. And like I say, my friends now, where I'm at here, and like I say, I don't speak. Normally, the ones that speak English have money, and so, like I say, most of my friends got money, and I say I'm running around with single guys, and they're all in their 40s, so they see things different than what I see, but I've been watching, and I think it's cool because I see these gals that are really good looking, really. I mean, these guys got money, so they get after the good looking gals. And it's funny because every once in a while, down here is different. Now remember, women don't have any rights, and so the women make up for it by appearance. They really make themselves look good. And it's funny because, like I said, I don't speak the language, but I can see the way they act and this type of stuff. And it's funny because many of them look really good, but there's no substance. And you can see they're playing games with each other. These guys are playing games with the gals, and the gals are playing games with them. So it's kind of funny to see the women using their appearance as a tool. And, you know, I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that it's, what I say, everything in Guatemala is obvious. And it is obvious to see that they do. They use their good looks to bring in the guys with the money. Kind of like the guys with the money bring in the women because of the money. It's really kind of funny. But then again, you know, I'm old now, so I think more with my mind than my hormones. So I see things a whole lot different. And then, like I say, since I can't talk, everything is in appearance. Appearance is a lot to do with me. And like I say, I come across the military and the police. I say they're not. Sometimes they work hand in hand. Not always, but if they don't work hand in hand, you'll see one, and maybe a half a block away, you'll see another one. In other words, police roadblock, half mile down the road, a military roadblock. So they don't always work with each other. But it's cool because I see the appearance. I mean, they're all in their spiffy uniforms, and they all have their guns, and and they stay with each other. So they don't socialize. They don't get with the public. And that's what I talk about in the United States. When you hear the police talk like robots, and there's no emotions, there's no personal one-on-one talking with them, because like I say, they look at you as a criminal and they're trying to figure out how they're going to give you a ticket and all kinds of stuff. So it's when they're like that, they act non-human. And even for me, now, I've always stood out in a crowd. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet. So a long time ago, I gave up on trying to blend in. So I always stand out. I make it a point to stand out. And when there is, when we make contact, then it's even worse than what the appearance shows. In other words, you can see I'm not a Guatemala person. So you think, well, okay, there's strangers in a strange land. We can intimidate them. We can, do this type of stuff. And then so they don't. And then when they attempt to intimidate me, I'm not smart enough to figure out that we're being intimidated. And the reason is once I figure out that intimidation, and well, I figured that already, but intimidation mostly is in appearance. So they can appear like they're going to intimidate me and scare me and do this stuff. And I'm as happy-go-lucky, ready to go. I mean, hey, I'm stupid American. And once we get to the point where it looks as if, the American's not taking his appearance, he shows as if he doesn't understand the danger he is in. That we can do stuff to him. We can put him in jail. We can arrest him. We can hurt him. We can do all kinds of stuff. Then they move to the next level, in which it's not intimidation. Now it goes into a show of power. And it's funny because when that happens, the silly, stupid American changes into, then they know, what did we get ourselves into? And that applies not only to military, police, bandits, but it also applies to when I'm trying to do business with somebody. One thing I noticed, I just did some auto work, some mechanicking on my car to some new mechanics that didn't know me. And they applied the same type of tactics, and the knowledge, like they know and I don't, and all this stuff. And then when we got to certain points, when I was in the oil field business, I had a fleet of vehicles, and I did a lot of the work on maintaining them. I did it at night when everybody else put their day's work in. Then they would go. I'd have another crew come in, and I would work with the other crew on maintaining the vehicle. So I can do a lot on a vehicle. The main reason I don't is I don't have all the tools. So if that's the case, I'm knowledgeable, and many don't realize how knowledgeable I am. And then I'll go into the stupid act, and then I will go into full mode of I know what's going on. And once I do that, that escalates everything. That brings everything up to another level. And then a lot of times they're shocked because they don't realize in many of these areas I am knowledgeable, and in many cases physical, in a higher level than what they are. And so in other words, you have to have the knowledge, you ask the questions to find out the level of expertise that you're going up against. Either you're a mechanic, you're being mugged. Talking about that, it's funny because when I'm being mugged, it's the same thing. I ask them, you want my money, mi dinero? See, and then when I ask them this, and then I'm making them think, and then I put them into a position where they have to think morals. And same thing to mechanics. They're trying to get over on me, but when we get to a certain point, when I stand tall and strong, they realize they need to show their best. It's harder to do it when it comes to military and police, because part of their training is intimidation, the appearance. That's what a lot of the stuff is in appearance. That's why the police talk like robots. They want to appear superior, even though they are humans, no different than the rest of us, but they don't act that way. So, buenos días.
Buenos días, mucho gusto.
Okay. And so you need to be aware. And then that's why when you see the police with the sunglasses, when you see criminals with the sunglasses, they all use the same tactics, and they all fall under the same weaknesses, and that is all of them in their minds think they are superior to the rest of us, and they want to apply force or violence, or not apply it. I forgot the word. Imply violence, and the idea is you're supposed to be weak and incapable of defending yourself from violence. That's why they imply it and they act it. And so now, what does that have to do with good-looking girls? Okay, what it is, these are tools. Appearance is tools. Most of the time, if you are prepared, you will find out that most rely on those tools to work. So when you put up some kind of a counter, you will see their armor crack. Whether it's a good-looking girl, when you apply intelligent conversation and knowledge, you will see how much they depend on appearance. It's the same thing going to the other end of the scale. When it comes to bandits, military, and police, they're applying the intent of violence because you are incapable of any kind of a response. So when you appear as if you may have a plan, then it's easier to talk to them. And I say now, I've got I've got the advantage on most people because, like I say, I worked. Not only I was in the military, and I know these are real people, and I want to say the military are good people. And we try to think that about our American military. And that's why we give them support, because we think as individuals they're good people. The thing is, when good people don't use morals, they cease to being good people. I say, I was in the military. I trained SWAT teams. I mean, the SWAT team people are in the way of police, they're like special forces, I guess, in the military. And it's funny because I work with special forces too, so even now I still work with them. So I know these are all people. And hola.
Hello, Mike.
Buenos días.
Buenos días, Mike.
Buenos días.
Buenos días. And when the police and SWAT and all these other people, when they cease to use morals, it changes. They're not the people that we support. That's why you hear me talk about morals a lot. But like I say, that's the other end of good-looking women. But like I say, you need to realize that your appearance says a lot about you. And like I say, this last motorcycle trip I went on, well, no, I don't think it was the last one. One of these I went on, and they were all Harley guys, and you can see their appearance. These old Harley guys, I mean, they look tough, and it's funny. You're right back to appearance. So, and then once you get any of these people on individual level, you will see what they really are and what they're really made of. But you have to, just like I teach in close quarter combat, I teach people to learn empty hand combat first before you go into the weapons. And it's basically the same type of thinking. If you want to appear like a Harley tough guy, or police tough guy, or special forces tough guy, I suggest you start with this. You have to have the mindset, the intelligence, before you get respect. Buenos días.
Yes.
Okay. You'll have to have that. Just your appearance only goes so far. So I would suggest you start from the inside going out if you're going to build a personality and character of substance. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.